This segment brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
I'm Ed McCarty. I do non-sedation equine dentistry. I have for about 30 years. And today we're working on a 2-year-old, I guess a 6-year-old who hadn't had much handling, and then an older horse. So a real challenge today, but it's working out fine. I work without sedation, and in working without sedation, the horse handling becomes a key thing. Reading the horse is the biggest thing that I have to learn to do. Reading the horse's eyes and the body language, because I'm standing right in front of them, and to make sure they don't end up on top of me, I have to know what they're thinking. I use as little pressure as possible. If I have to put pressure on the horse's nose, the rope halter or whatever, I'll just apply constant pressure until I feel a little bit of release, and then take the pressure off. And they figure out pretty quick that if they're standing somewhat like I want them, there is no pressure at all on their face. I'll hang on to them, but I'm not pulling on them. I'll just hang on to them to kind of steady their head, but they have no pressure on their face. So it's always a challenge when you work 2 or 3 young horses. Every horse thinks a little bit differently, and first thing I'm going to have to do is figure out what these two are doing, whether they're scared, whether they're mad because I'm there, whether they're just aggravated, or whether I'm just in their way, and react to them accordingly. Yeah, equine dentistry is something that over the last 20 years has become more prominent in the eyes of trainers and owners and horse people. When I first started doing this about 30 years ago, I was on the racetrack, and I did it on the racetrack, and most of the trainers there knew the benefit of it. But a lot of times, just general horse owners, I'd mention it to them, and they're like, "We don't have that kind of stuff done. Our horse is just horses." And so I've done a lot of education over the years on workshops and clinics, educating people on the need for equine dentistry. I've broken it down over the years in what I call the 3 eras of dental care. The first era being ages 2 to 5, and young horses should be floated by about 2. They'll get baby sharp, is what I call it. And basically what it amounts to is your 2 to 5-year-old horses, your young horses, are going to lose 24 teeth during those 3 years. They're going to lose 8 of them at 2.5. The central incisors, first molars, top and bottom, both sides. 8 of them at 3.5 be the next incisors out, and the second molars, top and bottom, both sides. And 8 of them at 4.5. So by the time they're 5 years old, they've lost 24 baby teeth, and they've gotten 24 permanent teeth erupted in place, just like kids do. And this is something very important for owners and trainers to know, because it happens on the half year, pretty much, within a month or two of the half year. So if you have a nice 3-year-old that you get done early in the spring, and you think, well, he's good to go now, and he's working great all year long, and all of a sudden you hit the fall, he comes unbroke on you. And what happens a lot of times, I get calls, and a horse is trying to shed one of those molar caps, and it breaks in there and leaves half of it, has sharp edges. It gets crossways in there, or half of it won't turn loose, and they will just not tolerate the pressure, or any kind of pressure. And so it's very important to know the time frame on it. So if you've got a young horse you're working with, even a 4-year-old, at 4.5, they're going to shed those third molar back and going to shed the corner incisors. And if their behavior changes early fall or right in there, it's a good idea to have the teeth checked right off the bat. Between the ages of 5 and 20-ish, when they had just normal maintenance and wear and tear, and part of the normal maintenance is they don't have nerve endings in their teeth. So, and their teeth are a little softer material than ours, is what allows them to grind them away. So they can literally bite down on a rock, bite down on a walnut, bite down on anything, and break part of a tooth off. They never know it because they don't feel it, but it'll leave jagged, sharp edges in there where they broke it off. So if you have a horse in that time period that it's only been 3 months since they've floated, and all of a sudden the horse changes behavior, you might want to take a look at the teeth, because they could have broken a molar off in there. They didn't know it. You wouldn't know it. Until you get it smoothed down, it's going to aggravate the fire out of them until they're floated next time. And then the third era of dental care is your old horses from early 20s up till the horse either dies, or I have some clients who have no teeth left in their head. in their 30s and they've managed to lose all the teeth and they're still doing fine because we have a feeding program that'll help them. But that's from young horse all the way to the death of the horse, that's basically the areas of dental care and what can happen during those 3 periods.